You're watching Influencers. I'm Abha.
And I'm Devna. We bring you fresh insights
From impactful people
with impactful content.
Enjoy.
So what is it like operating in Mumbai right now? Is it cleaner? Is it tougher to get around the system in a sense now?
Yeah, I think the fact of the ease of doing business, which has been brought in by the Prime Minister, but actually implemented by Mr. Fadnavis over here in a very effective manner, both at his level as well as at the municipal corporations and other levels, have certainly cleaned up a lot of system which was corroded earlier. So I think we need to compliment them for absolutely cleaning up the corruption at his level completely. I think that's a big positive.
So that's been a huge difference,
of course.
The introduction of RERA and
Sure.
the enforcement, and it's being enforced well.
Oh yes, we have one of the best persons, IS officers in India, and we in fact have registered in Maharashtra 13,000 out of 21,000 in the country. So total country 21,000, Maharashtra 13,000. I mean, kudos. Salams to Maharashtra and also to Mr. Chatterjee.
You were saying when we were chatting earlier informally, there's a big consolidation in the real estate sector. A lot of builders are actually going under. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Obviously, about 25 to 30% of the developers are really badly stressed as compared to, as I said, 90% in the north side, especially in the Noida region. I've seen bad scenarios every 5 to 7 years. Obviously, this is one of the worst out of all the ones which you're saying. But 2008 was also extremely bad. 2009 post-Lehman crisis was not easy either. But you have to understand that at that point of time, how good and strong are you to face the situation? It's the question of having good health every time there is a downturn, not just this time.
So the billion-dollar question always is, are prices going to drop?
See, there are three parts. The first one on the luxury element, somebody wants to buy a building which is iconic, they'll even pay a higher price. So you may find some of the iconic buildings prices even going up because people just want to buy it. But on a macro scale, let me tell you that if the affordable housing segment does take off, which is likely to do and the state governments are really pushing it, you'll find that the push of prices will fall in the affordable segment. So the affordability segment is going to see a sea change, where the volumes of flats available at 3,500, 4,500, 5,000 is going to increase exponentially. You're asking me where, when and how should you buy? I think the entire buying, if you look at it and you map it on even on the RERA site or any of the records, you'll find this is happening on the peripheral areas of Mumbai. If you look at the far extent of Andheri, where the higher end in terms of values are there, but if you look at the Thana, Belapur, Navi Mumbai region, you'll see huge amount of sales are taking place, and it's tremendous. We do it. So that's the next range of areas that are happening. The third, which is the area which is growing up, is the places like Panvel. Now, these centers of gravities are the future. The railway line is coming up right from Panvel to Karjat, new railway line, brand new railway line. The airport is coming up, the cross harbour bridge is coming up. So obviously, and the affordable housing segment is coming over there. If you take the totality of the segment and the area of development over there, it's bigger than the whole of Mumbai. Great value for money for the same price of 3,500 to 5,000 range, which you could not get today. So the answer is, yes, in the affordable segment, you're going to see a growth which is unprecedented in the annals of real estate industry in the next 5 years.
Buying a flat has become exorbitant at most levels. So isn't renting a good solution at the moment for the next few years?
I think it's a fantastic solution, and why not? So more people will buy the place to give it out on rent, and people who have long-term interest in the real estate investment, and I would suggest you should also buy an apartment and give it out on rent, because over a period of time the values do go up. So even if the short-term returns are smaller, the long-term appreciations are higher. If you want to make short-term quick profits, please go to the stock market. That's not the field to come into. Real estate is not the line. But if you want to take a long-term security, you must buy a house.
Today, if I buy a house in Mumbai, in most parts of Mumbai, you're not going to see a huge appreciation
That's what everybody
we
said
used to
25
see
years ago. So people would say that 25 years ago, and they told me that you bought something land very expensive, you bought a flat very expensive, and everybody who bought a house in Powai cribbed and said that it's too expensive for me to buy. And today they're all smiling.
Where are the areas that real estate is moving really quickly? In terms of you put up a project and it gets snapped up.
I think it's suburbs, suburbs, suburbs. So the extended suburbs are the places where people are buying, and they're buying a lot of them. The new generation have gravitated to the north, and because businesses, offices and others have moved over there, the walk to work and the nearness to work has made sense, because travel time has definitely re-increased again. But I think over a period of time, you will see graduation not only to north, but in the general suburban areas like MMR will grow, Navi Mumbai, Panvel, that area, Vasai Virar region. And with the Navi Mumbai airport, Cross Harbour Bridge and other things coming up, I think the peripherals of Mumbai are going to see a much larger growth. So though the city and other places will see growth, redevelopment will take place, but if you look at the numbers, if one apartment is constructed in Parel, you will get 250 apartments constructed in a place called Panvel or Thane. So the ratio is so stark, except the Parel buildings stand out.
You said that you've grown more in the last 1.5 years, for example, in commercial real estate than you have in a couple of decades. So can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, maybe 4 years ago, everybody stopped building commercial because they felt that the commercial markets were down, and they were down at that point of time. But that was the time when I got into commercial in a very, very big way. And we planned a huge amount of increase in commercial, believing that the next few years, commercial will come back. But every developer in the country almost stopped doing commercial, barring a few people in Bangalore. So the reverse became true, that the markets in fact consolidated. So all the commercial properties really got sold out. And of course, we are fortunate, and we were able to do large amount of transactions, and almost close to $1 billion of transactions. Plus, we did the largest deal of my life with TCS. We built a 2 million square feet of building, one of the finest buildings in the world. So we did extremely well, but I wouldn't say that the country did very well in the same period. But as a company, we did excellently.
Who would you say are the real estate stars today? The ones who have good long-term financial planning, who aren't neck deep in debt, who are actually completing projects?
I think there are plenty. The positive side of all this is really there. Mr. Lodha is definitely doing extremely well. Mr. Chandru Raheja and his family, 2 boys, are doing extremely well. Mr. Oberoi is doing fantastically. So I think there are a lot of stars and superstars who are still there as far as that is concerned. And there could be a dozen more people who are there in this segment. Having said that, obviously everybody is kind of stepping back, looking at it again. Should I expand? Should I not expand? Should I grow much bigger in the next few years or so? And they're kind of creating healthy stars. So these are the superstars who consolidate their position financially, take care of their debts, and take one step at a time, and are willing to step back, like in a boxing ring, to say, I'll hold my strength and horses and debt and money.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this interview, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
The links are on the bottom of your screen. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Simply type in influencers and our names and follow us there.
Bye.